93.7 FM, Abuja.
The issues. Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president.
Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retired without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Goose cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that? He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umoite on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Good morning to you, wherever it is you're watching me from or listening to me from. On local frequency, we're on Citizen FM 93.7, and on YouTube, we are on Citizen FM. We're also live on my channel, Didi Ratzi. And where else? Yes, on live radio, we are live on citizenfm.ng. That's where you can catch me. Okie dokie, between now and 8 o'clock, we'll be taking a trip around Africa, looking at news, making the rounds across the continent. We have reports from Ivory Coast, from DRC, from Burundi, from Ethiopia, and other parts of Africa. And of course, between 8 and 9, we'll be looking at headlines across Nigeria in West Africa, just in case you're watching on YouTube and you're not familiar with Nigeria. Okay, so let's start with reports from DRC, where we're hearing that the authorities in the country, the head of Congo's media and communications regulators, have said that there's a full ban, and it will apply to all print, broadcast, and digital platforms that would try to carry any story about the inning. So Christian Bozeme defended the decision, saying that it was in line with a government embargo on the activities of Joseph Kabila's People's Use Joseph Kabila of supporting the M23 rebel group in the country. And Joseph Kabila, who made a public appearance last week in Goma, has denied the accusations. Remember, Goma is one of the cities that have been captured by the M23 rebels. Yeah. Well, a prosecutor is already investigating Kabila for treasonous activities. Among his alleged crimes, they include treason, we're hearing war crimes, we're hearing crimes against humanity, and participation in an insurrectional movement in the country's east. That's what Justice Minister Constance Montomba has said. So that's the update from DRC. On YouTube, thank you for your comments. I will read them in a bit. So let's continue. Ivory Coast is also in the news. We're hearing that opposition candidates have been barred from electoral list. Yep. So unless the decision is overturned, Ivorians will not be able to tick the box to any of the names that are in the opposition. That's when October elections, come in full because we're still in June, July, August, September, and then October. Tijani Thiem, Laura Babo, Charles Blegoder, and Gulam Soro. All 4 candidates for the opposition parties have been barred for the electoral list. They were published in their final version. It was earlier this week that the publication came. So scanning through the list, you will not see any of the names that I mentioned earlier. Anyway, Tijani Thiem is the president of Ivory Coast's main opposition party, and he was also barred from the election in April following controversy over his French nationality. Remember, we took that story here as well, but he's been cleared of that. The court have thrown that what's it called? That case out, so it's no longer a thing. But regardless of whether or not it was thrown out, his name is still missing on the electoral list. Anyway, the 3 other candidates, former president and Soro, a former prime minister who's currently in exile, have not been on the list for several years due to criminal conviction. Anyway, if they make the list again, we'll be bringing you up to speed with that. Let's see what's happening on YouTube for a bit. Michael, thank you for joining. Artistic legend. I just got a medium skin fade. What does that even mean? What does that even mean, artistic legend? Thank you for joining today. Wahala, big. One is wahala. Hi. Yuan Kafuleo. Yeah, I've seen you before. Join me live. I want to appreciate you for joining again today. Jean Main Event is saying hi. That's what, there's that smile with. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember. I think I saw your comment yesterday as well. Okay, who else do we have here? Yeah, Kelale. Okay, I see you. All right, now back to the stories. Ethiopia is also in the news as we're hearing that. You remember that thing that has been going on in the U.S. about Harvard being barred from taking in international students, even Africans included? Well, Ethiopian students' Harvard dream hit an unexpected obstacle as the Harvard University this year have said they are not allowed, in fact, any Ivy League school is not allowed from enrolling international students because the Trump administration says current students must transfer to other schools or leave the country before they want to look at that again. Fred Chambers. No, it's not Foxy Brown, it's Diddy. By the way, yeah, needed to respond to that on YouTube. Okay, so it's affecting a lot of countries, especially students from Africa. They will not be able to enroll into any of the Ivy League schools until that is sorted out. But is it going to be sorted out anytime soon? Well, fingers crossed, and let's see how that pans out. Stay with us. Citizen FM 93.7.
The issues.
Everybody respected that because it was coming from the president. Theory behind it, the way the people took the battle in their hands.
Some civil servant retire without a roof over his head.
The cause.
If we cannot trust you, then you cannot take the ticket of this country. Goodson cannot be divulged from those who cause the crime. Honestly.
The passion.
You must have national spread. So where is it?
Why are you so concerned about that?
He said money was.
I never.
No.
The platform is always the same.
Insight on Citizen FM 93.7.
The source is constant.
My name is Lawrence Umoite.
There is always an opportunity.
Tomorrow, Insight returns with another interesting.
Insight with Lawrence Umweti on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Be part of the experience.
Every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. Get the latest updates on news, events, and happenings in and around the Federal Capital Territory. From politics to entertainment, business to culture, we have got the inside scope. Join the conversation, stay informed, and be ahead of the curve. Don't miss FCT Today, every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja. FCT Today, your window to the FCT every Wednesday, 12:30 p.m. on Citizens 93.7 FM Abuja.
Kẹ́kùnlé ó gbọ́ kó sọ fún toko kẹ́dùn ó gbọ́ kó rò fọ́ bẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ètò kan tí yóò ṣọ bí òṣùmọ̀ lójú ọ̀run ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ pẹ̀lú baba kẹ́ńgbé tí yóò ṣọ lórí iléeṣẹ́ Citizen FM 93.7 Àbújá ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ pẹ̀lú baba kengbe ètò alárin yóò máa mìlú títì bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 9 sí aago 11 alalẹ́ ọjọ́ ìsinmi Sunday ọmọ yín olólùfẹ́ yín ni olú tọmọrí wílọ́bì MC Tiza baba kengbe kéńgbé ọ̀rọ̀ fún ẹ̀ jagunmúlà pèdàgbáyé làtọ́kùn ètò ẹ má gbàgbé o ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ pẹ̀lú baba kengbe lálálẹ́ Sunday ni o bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti aago 9 títí dé aago 11 gbáko lórí iléeṣẹ́ alálùbáríkà Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja àbúrúdùn dé o ẹ má mí ṣe o mẹ̀sì gbọ̀kú.
You. I'm saying hello to Suraj Kiran, who's watching from India right now. Oluwadumiye Mufutao is watching from Lagos State. It's so good to have you join me. How is Lagos? Double tap on your screen if you have not yet done so. Give the video a thumbs up. I'm a lot earlier than usual, at least on my live stream. So we're off onto a great start. So let's go back to the stories from across Africa. Between now and 8 o'clock, I'll be bringing you as many stories as I can from across Africa. I started at 7:30 and would last till 8. 8 o'clock, we'll be bringing you headlines from Nigeria across the dailies. So Burundians will be voting today. It's actually the first legislative election since 2020. Remember when the now president came into office? Well, it's time again to go back to the polls. It's time. So most members are they'll be choosing lawmakers to serve on the 123 seats. The National Assembly has 123 seats, and they'll also be voting for the lower house of parliament today, Thursday, June 5, 2025. So, the vote includes local election and is widely seen as a test of the president who is in office at the moment. His National Council for the Defense of Democracy, that's Forces for the Defense of Democracy Party, secured a majority of the 2020 poll. But while he has been praised for gradually ending years of isolationism under his predecessor, Nkurunziza, the country's human rights record still remains poor. International organizations and Human Rights Watch have still considered that it's a little bit slower than it should be. But again, let's see how this election will pan out today when the results are finally elected. It's going to be entirely in the hands of the people, whether or not they agree with these international reports, or it's going to be all about what's happening in the country. I needed to take a break to say hello to Success Nana, who just joined. Hi to you. Thank you for your message. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, this is the very first time that the legislative and local elections are being held separately from the presidential poll, which is scheduled to take place in 2027. And this, of course, follows a constitutional amendment that extended the presidential term from 5 to 7 years. On the UN Security Council, there's an update where DRC and Liberia have been elected to serve a 2-year term. Congratulations to both countries. A total of 188 United Nations member states voted to elect Bahrain, Colombia, and DRC, Latvia, and Liberia to serve as non-permanent members of the UN Security Council, and that happened 2 days ago. The vote only required one round of balloting. So representatives of the 5 nations will begin serving on the UN body responsible for maintaining international peace and security. They will start from January 2026, and they will continue their work through the end of 2027. Now, in the African and Asia Pacific group, Bahrain received 186 votes, DRC got 183 votes, and Liberia got 181 votes, with just one country abstaining. And in the Latin America and in the Caribbean group, Colombia received 180 votes, with 8 countries abstaining. Now, with the exception of Latvia, which will take a seat on the council for the first time in its history, all the elected countries have previously served. Colombia have served 7 times, DRC have served twice, Bahrain and Liberia have served once each. So congratulations to them again for being elected to serve. January 2026, they'll start, and then until 2027 before their tenure will be over.
Your problem is my problem, and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem, and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Shake it, shake it. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Want your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody.
FM 93.7. Sadly, I might just need to apologize to our YouTube people. At least on the DD Writer platform, we're unable to continue, but I'm sure on Citizen FM on YouTube, you can still catch us live, or just head on to citizenfm.ng and you can listen from anywhere in the world. It's news across Africa. Weather experts have warned again of an increase in glacier-related risks from climate change. So the head of the World Meteorological Organization, Celeste Solo, is warning that glacier-related risks are becoming a global reality. It was at Tajikistan that she said that no matter how developed the country is, we are all at risk. She said this is a new reality. We need to raise awareness of the hydromet centers in every single country, in every single region. And that's why we advocate for a more robust investment in monitoring. With better monitoring, we can expect to have better forecast. With those, we can expect to have better early warning systems in the end to protect societies, to protect people, and to protect livelihood. If our Wu-Tang is for the children, children made a tweet on X on the devastation that was caused by glacier. A massive chunk of glacier collapsed yesterday and buried about 90% of its ice, mud, and rock, and everyone was evacuated before the collapse. And that's what she was talking about. If we have warning in good time, at least if we're able to monitor and then can forecast some of these devastations before they come, we are able to take proactive measures to protect society, to protect people, and to protect livelihood. Now, as climate change accelerates, World Meteorological Organization is calling for more investment, especially to protect mountain communities. If you remember last week, the Swiss village of Blatten was buried under a massive avalanche of rock and ice from the Birch Glacier and the nearby Lonza Riverbed. If you follow international news, you would be up to speed with that report. Well, days before the disaster, experts warned that there was a possible collapse of the glacier, which held about 1.5 million cubic meters of ice. Thankfully, the people were evacuated from the area before the collapse, and that's what Wu-Tang Kids tweeted about on X. I'm glad that we're able to, at least reduce the damage that this could have done. But again, let's not take for granted this warning, because all hands must be on deck. As the leader, as the head of the World Meteorological Organization has said there's a need for more awareness of the hydromet centers in every single country, Nigeria inclusive, every other country that comes to mind inclusive. And in fact, not just countries, every single region of the world. That's all the stories we can take on news across Africa today. Stay with us. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock, we'll be bringing you news, headline news rather, in Nigeria. We'll be back in a bit.
The nation of our dreams. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dreams. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Yeah. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.